You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion. Delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof of your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, we are celebrating today. Although we celebrated a lot yesterday and long weekend. So, you know, I don't think we have a graphic for this one today because it is one that I enjoy. Today's National Hawaii Day. And if I had my choice, that's where I'd be sitting and broadcasting from right now. But I'm not. I'm right here in our beautiful studios in the city of Orange. Today's also National Apple Turnover Day today. So I will share, because I have beaten anorexia, that good friend of mine was down in Julian over the holiday and picked up an apple pie for me. Yeah, dude, they make some great apple pies down there in Julian. Apple pie with caramel. Not doing any good for my diet, but you know something, we'll get over it.
It is what it is.
Workaholics Day. Not today. I mean, we've had this weekend. How many days did you take off this weekend? You know, I work. Well, I'm a workaholic, so you know I work every day, but took a little extra time, you know, didn't get quite started as early as we normally do. We had the broadcast. Of course, Josh took care of best of recordings for Monday and Tuesday. So we didn't have any live recordings or new recordings. He took some best ofs for us. Workaholics Day. National Graham Cracker Day. My grandson loves graham crackers. So we like the graham crackers. Can we throw a little bit of chocolate and marshmallow on there, please? It's about that time of year, right? I mean, here in beautiful Southern California, although was it yesterday morning, day before, Monday morning, went out to the beach, as I do frequently when we're not doing broadcasts, and go for a walk. It was drizzling the whole time. You know, I didn't have to put on a raincoat, but, you know, I did notice the water there. So how did I get on that rabbit trail? I don't know. Let's take a look and see what's going on in the markets today. The Dow Jones Industrial Average down 94.5 points. S&P 500 down 7.43. The NASDAQ is down 29.71. Oil up $2 a barrel, so we know what's going on there. And let's see, 10-year Treasury, that's broken through some technical points. It's up 6.5 basis points. 3.923. Not good news if you're thinking about buying a house, but you know, every morning, or just about every morning, we put out a 1 or 2 page briefing for the real estate community on what's going on in the mortgage world. If you're not getting that, let us know. RJ at ronsiegelradio.com. RJ at ronsiegelradio.com. It is available for anybody. It's geared toward just making it simple for the real estate community. But we've been putting out there that, you know something, rates are still going up. We're not going to get a good report today at about 11 o'clock our time. Federal Reserve is going to make their announcement or share, not make their announcement, but share the minutes of their last meeting. And every time they share their minutes, it's not good news for the markets. So we're going to watch that one. I understand that gas prices have been coming down a little bit. Thankfully, I didn't go too far away from home this year, so didn't have a lot of driving, so didn't have to go fill up. Right here in the formerly Golden State, 484.6. 484, about 484 and a half. Not a pleasant price for gasoline. Yesterday was 48. It was about 484.4 a week ago. We're not going to look at that. What was a year ago? Wow. Last year, same day. You ready for this one? I mean, this is amazing. President's probably going to come out and tell us how great he did for us because, it did go up triple since he took office, but it was 623.6 last year for this weekend. Now it's 484. So I guess we should celebrate. 421 for you, Josh. You went down a couple of pennies. Jody's at 383.6 and our tremendous underwriter Lori 306. And as I mentioned before, if I had my choice, I'd be in Hawaii. $4.72 a gallon of gasoline in Hawaii. Now I'm looking here. Washington still got us beat. So Washington is at $4.98 a gallon. $4.98 a gallon. Ooh, not pleasant. See what's going on in the news. U.S. reportedly plans to restrict China's access to cloud services. That could put Amazon and Microsoft in a bind. See what happens there. Can you imagine Amazon services where they have the storage, and U.S. reportedly plans to restrict China's access. Now, you always have to look and see what are the unintended consequences, because that's where we get our medicine from, right? Moderna. Talk about idiots.
Such an idiot.
Yeah.
So
the CEO of Moderna is over there making a deal with China to see about making more medicines. Janet Yellen's heading over to China, though, to discuss working together as well. So, you got to wonder, why is the administration coming out with this kind of a conversation or this kind of commentary right before the Treasury Secretary goes to China? Could it be another shakedown? Oh, I know I shouldn't say that. I didn't. Speaking of shakedown, hey, did you hear the latest that they found some white substance in the White House? White powder? Yeah, it wasn't poison. Well, I guess you could call it poison. It's been determined that it's cocaine. So how did cocaine get into the White House? Who is it that goes into the White House that doesn't get screened? I don't know if we want to go there. That's a whole different issue, but a lot going on in the world right now. So we're just watching all of it for you so that you understand. We're gonna talk probably tomorrow or Monday. We got a big session we're gonna do. Josh is working on it right now on why that 3% mortgage is killing you or could be killing you. We've set up a great scenario or a great tool for you with our friends over at LoanSense to help. I wasn't aware of this. 41 million Americans have student loans. 41 million. Now think about this concept. 41 million have student loans, and there's about 160 million total working population of the U.S. 330 million people in total, but about 160 million is the total population of working people. That means 1 out of every 4 people have a student loan. 1 out of 4. Now, I don't. My wife does. Josh, you have student loans? Okay. So just out of the 2 of us, that's 1 out of 2. Now, we're going to be doing a program here with our friends over at LoanSense. Run your numbers through RSR studentloanhelp.com. RSR studentloanhelp.com. Run your numbers through there, and you may find out that you can save a lot of money if you understand what the numbers are they're looking for. They're going to ask for income. They don't mean it's not like you do for a house where you want to give them your highest income. You want to actually give them your lowest income. That's what the federal government is looking for. There's a lot of programs out there to help you. rsrstudentloanhelp.com. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, 2 questions to ask yourself if you're considering buying a home. Americans still view homeownership as the American dream. What is a hard inquiry? And how does it impact credit? All that and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or ronsiegelradio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
79% of all credit reports have errors that should be corrected through factual disputing. You could be saving thousands every year if your report was accurate. CreditSanitizer.com provides a free credit report audit when you furnish a specific $1 credit report. You can use this information to request corrections to your report and potentially save thousands of dollars. Get your free credit audit at CreditSanitizer.com. That's CreditSanitizer.com for a free credit report audit. CreditSanitizer.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You got a phone? Make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Every day at this time, OBMMI. They provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates with consumers across 42% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. They do not give us APRs, points paid, points received, just the actual locked rates. Conforming loans up ever so slightly, 6.785. Jumbo loans were down nicely, 6.854. This is all Monday's numbers. FHA loans, those were up a little bit, 6.683. USDA, the rural areas, generally no down payment, 6.677. And the 30-year VA loan, best loan on the market for those that earned it, 6.486. Those are all Monday's numbers. That was a shortened session, so you get a lot of extra volatility in there. Today we've got the 10-year Treasury up 5 basis points, 3.914 is the yield or the rate, interest rate on that. S&P 500 is down 7.88. Mortgage-backed securities are down 11 basis points. That means interest rates are up. What's driving them? Well, we're going to get later this afternoon the Fed minutes from the last Fed meeting will be released, giving us a deeper look at what was discussed and the thought process of the Fed. We expect the Fed to have said that inflation has come down, but is still too hot. We also expect the Fed to hint towards another hike at the July 27th Fed meeting. We don't expect this to be good for the bond market, not good for mortgages. Last week, the final second quarter GDP reading was revised higher, showing 2% annualized growth. The estimates for Q2 are starting to come out, and the Atlanta Fed just reduced their estimate from 1.6 to 1.4 annualized growth. Now, be aware. So if they're saying 1.4 annualized growth, and we already had 2 for the first quarter, that means the next 3 quarters have to be well below 1.4 in order to make that average work out. Important metric to follow, as many are expecting a recession later this year, and one of the indications of a recession is 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP. Historically, every time we have entered a recession, inflation and mortgage rates decline. When will it happen? We're watching. Just released, going to come up and show you some ways. I just saw an article just before I was doing this report about one of the big companies expecting lots of bankruptcies. And it's a lot has to do with people just not paying attention to some of the issues going around. Speaking of not paying attention, once again, CNBC and Diana Olick, not good news on the real estate market. So they're excited that they're forecasting real estate values to drop. We've been showing you where they're not really dropping, but once again, Diana Olick out there. You ever heard her mention anything about excitement if the stock market drops? Now, 2/3 of Americans own a home, and they're excited if the values of a house drops. Don't quite get that, but that's CNBC and Diana Olick. That's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. Make a call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. So I want to give you a couple of things here, and Josh, we're going to have to cut this out so we can share it over and over again. I had a call over the weekend from somebody that's going up with our private client with the mortgage division that we're working on, the branch that I lead. And their question came up is they're looking at a signing their loan docs, and they wanted their loan to start. And this was this conversation took place on Saturday. I think Saturday was the 1st of July. And they wanted to know about having their first home loan payment September 1st. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit. What does that do? What does that mean? And how does that affect you? So mortgage payments are always paid after the interest is accrued. What does that mean? So when you make a mortgage payment on August 1st, that's for your interest for the month of July. When you make your mortgage payment on September 1st, that's for the August interest. When you pay rent in advance. When you pay mortgage interest, it's in arrears, is what that's called. There is no free lunch. The day that your loan gets funded is the day that the interest starts. Doesn't matter when your first payment is. So in this case, they say, well, we don't want our first payment until September 1st. I said, okay, do you understand what that means? That means that the institution, whoever it is going to collect all of July's interest, and then they're going to collect all that in advance. So that's going to increase your cash to close. Then on September 1st, you're paying August interest. Now, if this individual had said, okay, well, we would like to have our first payment August 1st, well, that gives them another month to save up to make that interest payment, because you know that your payments are very, very heavily weighted at the onset. They're very heavily weighted in interest. There's just a few dollars goes toward the principal at the very beginning of your mortgage. That's why it takes 20 years to pay half of the principal on a 30-year mortgage if you're not making any extra payments, so roughly 20 years. So the bottom line here is when this individual says, we don't want our payment to start until September 1st, you have to ask, okay, do you understand what that means? Why do you want that to happen? And their comment was, well, I make good money. I just don't have a lot of cash right now. I said, okay, well then if you make good money, you're better off having an August 1st start date, because then you have another month to collect your money to save money from your income. If you say that you don't have, if you're cash poor, because you're making your down payment, you're making all your other closing costs. So just throw that out there for you. Anytime you close your loan, the closer you close a home loan to the end of the month, the smaller your cash to close will be. If you close on the first, second, third of the month, and you're collecting that interest for that entire month up front, and then your payment isn't due until the following. So in this case, if they were to close on July 5th today, their first payment, if it was on September 1, they're paying 26 days worth of interest at closing immediately up front, because there's not going to be a payment until September. So just understand how that works. Give you a little bit. I think, Josh, we could put that under Mortgage 101 right there on how to time your closing date. The other thing I'm going to show you or share with you doesn't make any sense to me. but I understand the rules. The paying of that interest up front goes into your APR, so your annual percentage rate. So if you're paying more interest into the upfront, so if you're closing, say, on the 10th of the month and you have 20 days worth of interest, your APR is going to be higher. Does that make any sense? No. Because APR is the cost to close a loan plus the prepaid interest. So if you close on the 30th of the month, your APR is actually going to be lower because you're only going to have 0 or 1 day of interest to pay in that portion. So just give you a little mortgage 101 right there on making that payment on when you want your first payment to be. Just throw that out there, give you a little bit of insight as to the way some of these things go. Let's give away some stuff, Josh. What do you think? So we give away, if you're thinking about buying a house, because we're going to talk a lot about home buying in the next segments, rsrhbg.com, rsrhbg.com. We also want to make sure that you get your credit in line and credit in order, rsrccpayment.com, rsrccpayment.com. Stands for credit card, if I didn't enunciate that clearly, rsrccpayment.com. I know you're going to tell me, because I have it every single time I say this, Ron, I pay my credit card in full every month. Well, if you paid it the wrong time, it gives you absolutely no benefit on your FICO score. rsrccpayment.com, rsrccpayment.com. We'll give you some tips and mistakes to watch out for. rsrcredittips.com, rsrcredittips.com. Give us your information. We'll send you back a white paper. rsrcreditmistakes.com. Give you some mistakes. We don't want to see you make them. rsrcreditmistakes.com. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, 2 questions to ask yourself if you're considering buying a home. Americans still view home ownership as the American dream. Evaluating your wants and needs as a home buyer matters more today. And what is a hard inquiry? How does it impact your credit? All that and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Is your budget getting blown up with high prices of gas and increased costs for other household needs? This is Ron Siegel, host of the daily Home and Finance radio program. Did you know if you have a low interest rate mortgage along with auto debt, credit card debt, or student loans, your family could potentially save $500 or more per month by restructuring these debts? If you'd like a free Borrow Smart analysis with our team, let's book an appointment to see how we might be able to relieve some stress. Schedule an appointment at rsrbsa.com. That's rsrbsa.com for your free Borrow Smart analysis. rsrbsa.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Great tool, great website, great app. Monitor your credit scores. Monitor your bank accounts, asset accounts, value of your real estate. And 97% of the properties on the market are right there. You can monitor, watch those, follow along with them. Americans still view homeownership as the American dream. We just have July 4th, so I figured I got to get this one in here. the Americans still view homeownership as the American dream. Everyone's interpretation of the American dream is unique and personal. But for many people, it's tied to a sense of success, freedom, and prosperity. These are all things that owning a home can help provide. A recent survey from Bankrate asked respondents which achievements they feel most embody the American dream. The responses prove owning a home is still important to so many Americans today. Home ownership remains the number one feature of the American dream, according to a chart that we have from Bankrate. Bankrate's chart. Owning a home, 74%. Being able to retire, 62%. Successful career, 61%. College degree, 33%. Homeownership ranks above other significant milestones, including retirement, having a successful career, and earning a college degree. A recent report from MYND helps shed light on why so many people value homeownership. It finds, quote, nearly 2/3 of Americans, 65%, see homeownership as a means of building intergenerational wealth, unquote. That's because when you own a home, your equity and net worth grows over time as you pay down your home loan and as home prices appreciate. This can be a key factor in building intergenerational wealth and long-term financial stability. To further drive home the difference homeownership can make in your life, a report from Fannie Mae says, quote, most consumers, 87%, believe owning a home is important to live the good life. Notably, significantly more see having less stress as a benefit achieved by owning than renting, unquote. Especially today, this could be because when you own a home with a fixed rate mortgage, you stabilize what's likely your largest monthly expense, housing cost. And that helps combat the impact of rising costs from inflation. What does this mean for you? While it may feel challenging to buy a home today with higher mortgage rates and home prices, if the time is right for you, know that when you buy a home, incredible benefits are waiting for you at the end of your journey. Bottom line, buying a home is a significant and powerful choice, embodying the foundation of the American dream. If you plan to make your home ownership dream a reality this year, give me a call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Remember, there's a lot of options out there. Get the Home Buyer's Guide, rsrhbg.com, rsrhbg.com. We'll get you a copy of that Buyer's Guide, and, we update it every quarter, and it's free. So there's some really good information in there. And if we can help get you on that path to home ownership, that's what we're here for. Also, remember our friends over at Blue Water Credit. You can reach out to them. Go to creditsanitizer.com, creditsanitizer.com, and that'll get you right over to our friends over at Blue Water Credit. And they'd love to help you get your credit in order. Now, they don't do that phony baloney stuff where saying that everything that's on your credit report that's negative is not yours. They know the law. They work within the law to get you what you need. Just throw that out there for you. Let's go into a real-time real estate segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com. 2 questions to ask yourself if you're considering buying a home. 2 questions to ask yourself if you're considering buying a home. Chances are you're paying attention to just about everything you hear about the housing market. You can do a lot of that on rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com, and you're getting your information from a variety of channels. The news, social media, your real estate agent, conversation with friends and loved ones, overhearing someone chatting at the local supermarket. The list goes on and on. Most likely, home prices and mortgage rates are coming up a lot. To help cut through the noise and give you the information you need most, take a look at what the data says. Here are the top 2 questions you need to ask yourself about home prices and mortgage rates as you make your decision. Number 1, where do I think home prices are heading? One reliable place you can turn for that information is the Home Price Expectation Survey from Pulsenomics, a survey of a national panel of over 100 economists, real estate experts, and investment and market strategists. According to the latest release, the experts surveyed are projecting slight depreciation this year. And I think we've got a graph of that one coming up in just a second. So the red in the graph is what they're showing. But here's the context you need most. The worst home price declines are already behind us, and prices are actually appreciating again in many markets. Not to mention the small 0.3% depreciation home price expectation survey is showing for 2023 is far from the crash some people originally said would happen. Now, let's look to the future. The green in the graph shows prices have turned a corner and are expected to appreciate in 2024 and beyond. After this year, the home price expectation survey is forecasting home price appreciation returning to more normal levels in the next several years. And you can see 2024, 1.34, 2025, 3.24. National numbers here in Southern California, our numbers are a little higher than the national numbers. 2026, 4.12, and 2027, 4.48. So why does this matter to you? It means your home will likely grow in value, and you should gain home equity in the years ahead, but only if you buy now. If you wait, based on these forecasts, the home will only cost you more later on. Number two, where do I think mortgage rates are heading? Over the past year, mortgage rates have risen in response to economic uncertainty, inflation, and more. We know based on the latest reports that inflation, while still high, has moderated from its peak. This is an encouraging sign for the market and for mortgage rates. Here's why. When inflation cools, mortgage rates generally fall in response. This may be why some experts are saying mortgage rates will pull back slightly over the next few quarters and settle somewhere around roughly 5.5% to 6% on average. And again, chart mortgage rate projections. So if you look at the average for the third quarter 2023, 6.3%. That's averaging Fannie Mae, Mortgage Bankers Association, and the National Association of Realtors. Fourth quarter, 5.97. First quarter 2024, 5.77. Second quarter 2024, 5.63. As interest rates go down, what do you think that's going to do to the demand for houses? The demand will grow. Demand grows. If the supply isn't there, that means prices grow. Let's just throw that out there for you. But not even the experts can say with absolute certainty where mortgage rates will be next year or even next month. That's because there are so many factors that can impact what happens. So, to give you a lens into the various possible outcomes, here's what you should consider. If you buy now and mortgage rates don't change, you made a good move since home prices are projected to grow with time, so at least you beat rising prices. If you buy now and mortgage rates fall as projected, you probably still made a good decision because you got the house before home prices appreciated more, and you can always refinance your home later on if rates are lower. If you buy now and mortgage rates rise, if this happens, you made a great decision because you bought before both the price of the home and the mortgage rate went up. Bottom line, if you're thinking about buying a home, you need to know the facts on what's happening with home prices and mortgage rates. While no one can say for certain where they'll go, expert projections can give you powerful information to keep you informed. If you want to talk about your unique situation, your unique area, give me a call at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Remember, rsrlistana.com, rsrlistana.com. You can go right there and get a copy of what's going on in your neighborhood because prices are local. We can give you some national numbers here, but I also have the local numbers available for you. rsrlistana.com. When you get the report, it's going to give you Anaheim. You go back and you just put in your zip code. All of them are there. So you can actually get your zip code and find out what prices are doing in your unique zip code because they're not going to be the same as the national numbers. I know of some areas that are heading up. I know other areas that are going down. What's your area doing? I don't know because I'm not there. I can tell you right now that in just looking for Orange County, this is the city of Orange, not Orange County. But the city of Orange, price decreases. 23% of the properties have taken a price decrease. Now, I heard a social media post over the weekend that said about prices nationally being down, having price decreases 31%. But once again, the author does not put it in context. The context was that they're down, the 31% of the marketplace has taken a price decrease. The context is 33% is a normal market. So they're not wrong in saying 31%, but the part that's out of context is when they say, didn't tell you that normally it's 33%, so less properties are taking a price decrease now than in a normal market. In the city of Orange, price decreased on 23% of the properties, actually 23.4. And as of the end of June, it was 23.4 at the end of June, and right now it's 23 flat. So just throw that out there for you to give you an idea. And on the inventory side, there's 47 properties available for sale in the city of Orange. 47 single-family residents. Now, it doesn't count condos. 47 single-family properties available. Not a lot of inventory if you want to try and make the best decision for your family. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, and you evaluating your wants and needs as a home buyer matters more today. What is a hard inquiry, and how does it impact your FICO score? All that, more. Reach me anytime. Off air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Your Credit Matters segment today being brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. You have a credit report. It is wrong. What are you doing about it? Credit Sanitizer has the solutions. What is a hard inquiry, and how does it impact your credit? Hard inquiry is when a credit issuer or another lender reviews a credit report as part of your credit application. Their request to review your credit will be shown as a hard inquiry on your credit report and will affect your score. There are some ways that you can actually pull a soft inquiry as well, but generally hard inquiry. Let's say you're looking to apply for a new credit card. Whether you want to expand your available credit, create a credit mix, or simply apply for a credit card online with your desired rewards, you'll often encounter a hard inquiry. A hard credit inquiry or a hard credit check is a natural part of the credit card application process. It happens when the lender or bank associated with your credit card company checks your credit report to see if you are eligible for acceptance. What are hard inquiries? Hard inquiries or hard credit checks occur whenever a lender or bank accesses your credit account. The credit bureaus log the activity, recording the date and the name of the company or entity that accesses it. Hard inquiries refer to when a lender accesses your credit report to evaluate your merit as a borrower. In other words, hard inquiries happen when lenders look at the information in your report to decide whether to approve or deny your credit card application. How do hard inquiries impact your credit? They aren't the most impactful thing. Let me say that again. Hard inquiries are not the most impactful thing that affects your credit score, but they are one of the 5 major factors that make up your credit score. That's because having many hard inquiries on your account looks like you're chasing credit. Lenders don't want to see that behavior from potential borrowers as it reduces their credibility. Here are the 5 factors that impact your credit score. Payment history accounts for around 35% of your credit score. This factor is whether you pay your bills on time and as agreed upon. Credit utilization accounts for around 30%. This reports how much of your available revolving credit limit you are actively using. Credit age accounts for around 15% of your score. This is how long you've had credit and the age of your oldest accounts. Credit mix makes up 10% of your score. Creditors want to see that you can manage different types of accounts, such as revolving and installment accounts. Hard inquiries affect around 10% of your score. This is the number of recent hard inquiries on your report. So you can tell it's not a huge impact. Hard inquiries versus soft inquiries. Not all inquiries show up on your credit report. Not all inquiries that show up on your credit report impact your score. Only those that evaluate your financial creditworthiness do. These are hard credit checks. Soft inquiries, which are purely informational, have little to do with credit and don't have the same impact. They're also not usually visible to lenders or banks, only you. There are, again, sometimes when the banks and lenders can see soft inquiries. So let's look at them side by side. Hard inquiries versus soft inquiries. Hard inquiries affect your credit score. Soft inquiries don't. Hard inquiries count against your credit score for 1 year. Soft inquiries appear only to you on your credit report. Hard inquiries occur during the approval process. Soft inquiries occur during pre-approval process. Hard inquiries happen when you're actively searching for credit. Soft inquiries happen during non-credit screenings and background checks. Hard inquiries require your authorization. Soft inquiries do not require authorization. So let's look at some examples of hard inquiries. They happen when you apply for a line of credit that will impact your financial health. Hard credit checks will affect your credit score. Stay on your credit report for a year or two. So having too many of them in a short period of time may hurt you in the long run. Credit card companies, card dealerships, banks, lenders, and others may perform a hard credit check only after your written approval. You'll always know when a hard credit check will happen. Examples will require of things that will require a hard inquiry: mortgages, auto loans, personal loans, student loans, credit lines increases. Examples of soft inquiries typically happen for non-financial inquiries and don't affect your credit score. Typically, only you can see the soft credit checks on your report. Soft credit checks also do not need your permission to happen. Though employers will request permission for background checks, creditors can run a soft credit pull to pre-qualify you for marketing purposes. Note that you do have the opportunity to opt out of those soft checks, though. Soft inquiries happen when employers run background checks, credit card companies do a pre-approval, utility companies screen you, you check your credit. Disputing hard inquiries. Again, our friends over at creditsanitizer.com have the solutions for this one. You should always review the hard inquiries on your credit report to ensure that you authorize them. If you see something on your report that you did not authorize or approve, you can dispute your hard inquiry by following these steps. Reach out to your current lenders and confirm that they did not create a hard inquiry on your credit. Research the creditor that authorized the hard inquiry. Sometimes they will remove the inquiry from your report. Open a formal dispute with credit bureaus. You'll normally do this by filing a dispute on their platforms, which I don't recommend. Do it by mail. You'll generally need to wait around 30 days before receiving a reply about your hard inquiry dispute. When the credit bureaus reach a conclusion, they will remove the hard inquiry from your report. Again, it's not a major issue. The other thing to remember about the inquiries is sometimes it's seen as prudent. So if you're getting a mortgage, if they run your credit report, if we run your credit report and it's done by 2 or 3 companies in a very short period of time, then it's seen as prudent and does not ding your credit. It is good. It's just goes down as one inquiry. Got to have a lot of inquiries, though, to have it really hurt your report. Remember, credit scores, FICO scores, have a range from 300 to 850. That's a 550-point spread. 10% of that is 55 points. So if you lost all 55 off of your 850, you're at 795. Great score. That is Your Credit Matters, brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. You have a credit report, it's wrong. What are you doing about it? I think we got time for a quick real-time real estate segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com. rsrmoney.com. Evaluating your needs and wants as a home buyer matters more today. When it comes to buying a home, especially with today's affordability challenges, you'll want to be strategic. Mortgage rates impact how much it costs to borrow money for your home and loan. For your home loan. And to help offset the higher borrowing costs today, some home buyers are taking a close look at their wish list and reevaluating what features they really need in their next home to avoid overextending. As a recent NerdWallet article says, quote, a pool, for example, may be nice to have, but it may not provide as much day-to-day value as a garage or a space for a home office, unquote. While that pool may be appealing, think twice on whether or not it's really something you must have to be happy in your next home. Is getting that pool the main reason you're moving? Probably not. It's more likely you need more space, a home office, or proximity to loved ones, friends, or work that's motivating you to make a change. So, if you're truly looking to buy a home, take some time to consider what's truly essential for you in your next house. Make a list of all those features you'll want to see, and from there, work to break those features into two categories. Here's a great way to organize your list. Must-haves. If a house doesn't have these features, it won't work for you and your lifestyle. Examples: distance from work or loved ones, number of bedrooms, bathrooms, etc. Nice-to-haves. These are features that you'd love to have but can live without. Nice-to-haves are not deal breakers, but if you find a home that hits all the must-haves, and some of these, it's a contender. Example, a second home office, a garage, etc. Dream state. This is where you can really think big. Again, these are not features you'll need, but if you find a home in your budget that has all the must-haves, most of the nice-to-haves, and any of these, it's a clear winner. Examples, a pool, multiple walk-in closets, etc. Once you've categorized it in a way that works for you, discuss your priorities with your real estate professional. Remember to think carefully about what's a non-negotiable for your lifestyle and what's a nice-to-have that's more of an added bonus. Be sure to discuss where each feature falls with your agent. They'll be able to help you to refine the list further, coach you through the best way to stick to it, and find a home in your area that meets your top needs. Bottom line, putting together your list of necessary features for your next home might seem like a small task, but it's a crucial planning step on your home buying journey. Don't forget, get your home buyer's guide, rsrhbg.com, rsrhbg.com. Get that. It's updated every quarter, and it's free to you. And as always, we ask, set that first radio preset button to come back and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean who are engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.